Happy New Year. I told you I'm going to say this at the beginning of every one because I don't know which one I'm going to watch first. Again, like I said in the other video, I'm putting this, the December and January together when I drop them all because it's been just a hellified busy day and I'm trying to get everything done, but I appreciate y'all. Let's just get into it. It's been a lot of shit happening just today alone, so this conversation is going to be interesting. Let me talk to the managing editor of the Intersect Media, Chris Lee. What's happening, sir?
A lot. Apparently, 2022 is just going to pile on with weird stuff from football players nearly dying. Skip Bayless maybe almost getting canceled. Hopefully soon.
No, Skip gonna be okay.
He's like a dinosaur. He just keeps.
I think if anything, Undisputed is almost done.
Mm-hmm. I don't think Sharp's coming back.
Yeah, I don't think Shannon Sharp is done with him.
Yeah,
but
Stephen A can get out of his ESPN contract since he's rekindle that love fest. Do you see that? Stephen A. Smith was defending Skip Bayless as being like a good guy. And all this stuff on ESPN.
Oh God, I didn't see it, and I'm glad I didn't. Between that and then the whole Ezra Miller discussion, Vince McMahon trying to come back today,
slapping his wife.
Here's the thing about Vince McMahon. Denise Salcido was like, "How do you all feel about this Vince McMahon news?" I was like, "Bro, clearly don't want Rock or Cena at Mania because if he comes back, they can't work it."
No,
like I don't. People like, what do you mean? Huh?
They won't take that PR hit.
Right? They're not going to take the hell no. They're not going to take that PR hit. Hell no.
Now would be the time for like Dwayne to put that conglomerate together and offer to buy it, because that would be an interesting PR thing to be like, Vince won't sell to a person of color, like, and you spin that into the media and throw that whole thing out there. Because I don't think you want to mess with Dwayne Johnson in a power struggle, especially if he could get other athletes involved, because he'd have to obviously have multiple people. But that would be the thing, because right now what Vince said in that letter is he ain't gonna even participate in the next media rights deal because he won't okay it unless he's gonna. Of course, it's very interesting because the last media rights deal, he didn't have anything to do with that one. That was Nick Khan on the agent side because he was with Endeavor at the time. So he was representing, that was Paul Levesque and Stephanie, because he at the time was about like grooming them to be in the position at that point. But that was who was headlining the talks last time. It was Paul Levesque and Stephanie and Nick Khan. What's interesting though about this is that the people that, because in order to do it, he has to oust 3 people from the board. 3 people from the board have to step down because he wants to bring George Barrios back and Michelle Watterson, who he fired before from the jobs and replaced it with Nick Khan.
The board is never gonna get.
That's the whole point. So it's just, I think a lot of it too is now we're getting to the WrestleMania season as well, and Vince is looking at it like, oh, I'm not going to be booking WrestleMania for the first time ever, too. Well, I do think that is a thing with him, too, ego-wise.
Oh, that is a very big thing with him.
Because every other pay-per-view, he could care less about, but WrestleMania, that was his thing. So that whole article is interesting, though, because the Wall Street Journal released theirs, which seemed like it was like, oh, he intends to buy it and do all this other stuff. And then he released like a PR thing later. Like his whole thing is.
Well, according to Triple H, barring any injury, WrestleMania is set.
Yeah, but it only takes Vince to come back in and then throw it all to pieces.
Well, again, the board, he has voting power, but
if they put him back in as chairman of the board, how soon is he going to be like, well, I'm going to do the creative thing as well? Like, once he has power again, once he steps foot in that door again, he ain't gonna relinquish more power once he gets a hold of it again. Like that's not Vince.
Fuck. I just want
him. No one wants him. Like, even Sean Ross Sapp was doing his thing a little bit earlier today with the managing editor or the founder of Fightful. And it was like, no one that he's talking to wants it back. Even people that like Vince are like, no.
Everybody I know.
take your money when they
All
sell.
my friends that work there are like, yo, this has got people like, please God, don't come back. People like going to work now.
Right. They even gave like the, part of the reason they did the best stuff show on the 26th was to give production another week off, which was kind of unheard of, really doing. Best of shows, really. I mean, unless it was specifically like Christmas Day, but the day after used to be a big wrestling day, anyways, in history. And they did the Madison Square Garden show. So it wasn't like they were just off wrestling, they just gave production.
Yeah, they just did a house show.
Yeah. It's like, oh, that's actually a nice thing to do for your employees. So
this is what he said in his letter. WWE has an exceptional management team in place, and I do not intend for my return to have any impact on their roles, duties, or responsibilities. So in theory, what he's basically saying is, I'm letting Triple H still run the book.
Yeah, but the second he gets the chairman title back, he's got all the power again. You got voting shares and all of that. That's the thing. Can you just allow him to give final say on the sale? Like, that would be the angle I'd play. The thing that they said in that letter too is, okay, we're open for a review, review period, and to have a discussion with Vince about certain things. But that doesn't, a review also would include divulging everything that Vince did. Because every buyer's going to want to know that if he's involved in those talks, that's a part of it. And whether he's really paid back everything. Because there's 2 lawsuits still out. So it's not like those are settled yet.
Oh, I thought those were settled.
No, there's 2. The referee one isn't done.
Oh.
The official, and there's another one. I can't remember. But there's 2 still out there because they're trying to take it to court or whatever. Because I think in New York, where it happened, there isn't a statute of limitations on it. So
got it.
I'm trying to push it. She her story is she wanted to wait till her parents had passed away because of the trauma involved and putting them through like a PR kind of nightmare. She didn't want that to be the thing. But now that they're gone, that's why everything kind of came out when it did. She was a few dominoes that went on record with things. But.
Well, man, we'll see. I mean, look, this is, again, there's somebody who just watches the product, has watched the change in the product, who has his friends who are, performers and different parts of the product. You want what's best for them at the end of the day, because, again, your work environment, the work environment that you have allows you to produce a better product, right?
Mm-hmm.
Day one, I remember hearing day one when he was gone, the next day when people came in for TV, it was a whole different feel.
Right.
So you got to imagine them already reporting to wherever they got to report to, because I don't know where SmackDown is tomorrow, but wherever they're reporting to today for TV tomorrow, everybody's got to be like, yo, what the fuck?
Right. Well, apparently nobody knew except the board.
Of course.
So it's all, we'll see. It could all be a thing where he's trying to make a big play for it and they can stonewall him. Because I do not think Vince is as smart as Nick Khan is. And that's a big problem.
I think the problem is Vince thinks because Vince has built this, right? Right. So Vince has built it, but he doesn't understand the way business has shifted as much.
Just look at every other business thing he's ever tried to do. He sucked at them all.
Yeah.
Boxing, awful.
XFL first round.
He was trying to be a concert promoter. That failed. Restaurant owner. WWE in New York. He's good at one thing, and that's wrestling, and that's fine. But he's not good at that anymore either. Because the second he comes back and he's the booker at WWE, then guess who the best booker is in the United States? It's Tony Khan again. And not because Tony Khan's great at it. It's just because Vince doesn't remember storylines and doesn't know how to keep things, and he fires people. Like, all this talent that's kind of looking like, if I'm Sasha Banks and I haven't signed with AEW based on this, I sign with them right now. You can't trust like the second Vince
Nah,
came
I
back
don't,
in.
I don't, nah. Here's the thing. I think that'd be the dumbest decision she does because,
If Vince is coming back, though, I mean, she doesn't want to work for Vince ever.
which I get that. But
That's
again, she's always you got to remember, she's always wanted to work in Japan where she is. She can have a beautiful New Japan, Noah, all in career and be great. And then she still doesn't have to do, again, people keep forgetting, and I'm not saying you in particular, wrestling is a minute thing now that Mercedes Vernado has been building her brand completely, and especially being a member of the Star Wars universe, she's fine.
yeah, she's fine.
But I don't want it. She goes to AEW, she gets buried.
That the only way that makes sense at all for her to go to AEW is if they're really going to reconfigure that women's roster and position it, kind of like how WWE does, where they let the women main event, right, in WWE.
Mm-hmm.
The ratings don't usually do well in those segments, but it's kind of what's you do now because you got to get there eventually.
Right.
You just have to do it. You in this day and age, you have to with the star power and then the money that's out there.
Right.
So if AEW's going to do that and start putting like Britt Baker and Sasha in the main events of AEW over like the Elite, which they will do.
But yes, the name, here's the problem with that. Sasha Banks is Mercedes Vernado is a much bigger star just in general and just knows how to control a program better than Britt Baker ever fucking could. And so Tony Khan would try to, the best thing Britt Baker's ever done is her feud with Thunder Rosa. And that was pretty much it.
Yeah.
Like, it's so stupid that Jamie Hayter is the women's champion and Britt fucking Baker is still running the group.
That's weird. Because you should have already had her do like the Batista Triple H thing.
Already.
That should have just been the thing. And then that's a big feud that you go into. The problem is they brought in Saraya, and now Saraya has to get in the mix somehow. Although she keeps doing bad promos, so I don't know what's happened to her. She used to be good.
Let's just be honest though. When has Paige ever given out really, really good promos?
She was pretty good in the first WWE run, like when she was with
Team PCB.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stuff like that. She was good there. The second run when they brought her back after being Alberto Del Rio and that whole icky whatever that thing was. That did not go as well, but she was dealing with a lot of stuff at the time. But I don't know that the whole. I hope that maybe they'll bring Sasha back at Royal Rumble, but I would almost hold that off. If you're going to bring back Naomi, it seems like that Naomi's definitely the one that will be at least WWE bound in the near future. She's still on the roster. She's not in the alumni section because I think technically she might actually be under contract.
So, well, both of them were. So here's what I think. So again, pre Vince McMahon, the deadline.
It was released from her contract in the summer. Well, it was like, we'll let you go in January instead of holding it.
Right. No. This is pre Vince announcement.
Yeah.
Pre Vince, she was coming back at the Rumble. Right. Pre Vince, she was, because everybody's like, how is she coming back? He let her. I was just telling my boy, I was just telling Chauncey when I just did his. Her thank you, Triple H, thank you, WWE, wasn't a goodbye. It was, you finally let me do what I've always wanted to do. You let me do it. And so she can do that. Remember, we still acknowledge Carl Anderson's Japanese championship because why? Triple H has always been on, we need to make this merger thing work with them, partnership happen. So why not have her do the Wrestle Kingdom appearance, which is big for Japanese television, et cetera, et cetera. Now she pops up at the Rumble, have her challenge Charlotte. But the problem is, or let me just take that back. The problem becomes with her in WrestleMania because she has never won at WrestleMania singles.
No, I actually think I would actually like them to do what they were kind of before setting them both up when they were to go in singles matches against the two champions, the SmackDown and Raw champions.
Yeah.
Before. I'd almost do that again, but it would work better now if you did Naomi and Charlotte, and then you did Bianca Belair and Sasha.
Run it back.
Yeah, run it back because that was a great match. It's almost been 2 years to the day. It'd be almost 2
Yeah.
years since they faced off, and that was in that empty arena.
And let Sasha
course.
actually go over.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm with you on that one.
I like
because
that.
I was seeing what I see, and from what I'm hearing, it's Rhea Bianca.
Well, the other one is Rhea and Rousey somehow.
Excuse me, what?
That was something that Sean Saff found out, and Dave Meltzer also found out. Like that was one of the ones that they were putting out there, somehow moving Ronda to Raw.
Oh my!
I don't know how that works. I don't know.
Oh my God!
Place, but
that got real disturbing and disgusting real fast. Oh,
maybe something that was thrown out there, and then they were like, "Well, let's not do that." But they clearly wanted to get the title off of Ronda, because I do think you do a Ronda Shayna Baszler feud. You could easily do that with the title off them now.
Yeah, but here's the problem with that. You don't. No matter how many video packages and vignettes you build up for that, you're not going to care, because when they start talking, you don't. Ronda Rousey, for all intents and purposes, needs a Paul Heyman.
Mm-hmm.
Ronda needs to never talk.
Yep.
Ronda needs a Paul Heyman so she can go ahead and, like, Paul Heyman needs a woman in general. He needs to have the first Paul Heyman girl official.
But Raquel would be a good one too if he ever went babyface, but that'd be a good one. Raquel Rodriguez.
Have they built her up enough?
She's pretty high up there. I mean, that was a good match, and that was one of the Ronda's better matches on SmackDown this press. But I think if she had a mouthpiece, that would help her a big deal, because then you can make her a big monster.
You can make her a monster. Yes. And that's what they keep. Like right now, the monster is Rhea. They've proven that. The monster is Rhea.
And she's great.
But it's like
they even did a gender match, which WWE doesn't do them.
Not anymore. But you can basically go Ronda. If you go Ronda Shayna, it would literally have to be somebody has to be the mouthpiece, because
I don't like it either. It is a secondary feud, and there aren't a lot of women secondary feuds unless it's for a tag title.
And that's what I was just saying. They're both heels, because you can't put them against Damage Control.
Actually, that is what I would do. I would have them go for tag titles, and maybe that's what you do. You just have to go.
But how with Damage Control? Because there's no way in heaven and or hell you're gonna make Ronda and Shayna face, and you can't do it with Damage Control.
I don't know, man.
You get what I'm saying? Because it's like, if you see that, you're going to want to care about it to an extent. And
although the one thing is, I mean, does seem like WWE is less, especially under the Paul Levesque, they're less focused on having a clear heels or baby faces. Like Sami Zayn's a baby face in a heel faction that hasn't turned on him yet. Like they're de facto baby faces.
All I know is this is going to be I will say it every chance I get. That ass whooping is going to be. It's going to that ass whooping that Sami Zayn gets from the bloodline should, by all rights, make him challenge Roman. Now, this is what I was telling my buddy last night before last. Listen to this. WrestleMania. So they're gonna jump Sammy. We know it. They're gonna jump Sammy before WrestleMania, whatever. Kevin Owens makes the save. It's Sami Zayn and Kevin versus the Usos, right? The Usos lose to them night one, right? Roman loses to Cody night one. Then Roman loses to his cousin night two. And then on Raw or SmackDown, the Usos and their brother beat Roman's ass.
Oh, so then they basically make Roman. Which one's going face after they beat up?
You run Roman back face. You bring back the big dog.
See, but the problem with that though is I don't like Wayne Johnson being the champion.
No.
See, yeah.
Cody gets the undisputed title because again they haven't teased in a separation. Cody wins the belts right? And again, the match against his cousin is not for who's the champ because nobody wants, because everybody knows The Rock can't hold the belt. It's just for, oh, you the head of the table? No, I'm the head of the table.
Yeah.
And that will be the one thing that will lead to eventually the Usos and Solo, or less just the Usos and Solo be like, yo, I'm good, and just walk off.
Well, they're doing Solo like how they should have booked Samoa Joe.
Yes, they are.
No.
Yes, they are.
Even giving him a lot of Umaga's moveset, which is great because Umaga had a great moveset.
It works very well.
It does.
So, but that's the thing with that. It's like you can play that because the bloodline has to break up eventually, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, don't get me wrong. You kind of don't want it to, but you see the different things that are going to come.
Yeah.
Right. So the best way to break up the bloodline is you have to make Roman look weak.
The one issue though is the second that Roman is spearheading the let's beat the crap out of Sami Zayn, like you can't turn him babyface that fast. Like if he does it in February or March or at the Rumble, like that's too quick for people to be like, yo, we're behind Roman as a face after he just beat up Sami.
So you mean, yeah, so after WrestleMania, right after WrestleMania, yeah.
That'd be so fast. I don't know if people would be, I feel like that's a year-long build. Like you would have to get to that point. I think you have Roman just straight up go, not over Cody if you're going to do that. But you still have the bloodline together. You definitely don't have him beat Rock. If Rock's still going to be in, because we still don't have clear view whether he's in or not yet.
But here's the thing. That's, again, the Vince shit will all determine if The Rock does it.
Even outside of that, whether he really thinks he can go and do the match.
He's already booked it from what everybody said. His schedule from now until
schedule, but he's still, last time he was in the ring, he tore multiple muscles.
Yeah, he did
into it and want to go because it makes sense. It's another when he gets into the ring and starts to train. He's going to have to train.
Because that's another thing. I don't think I honestly do not believe in my heart that he trains when he has a match. I believe he goes off muscle memory.
He did the last time, and he did more matches last time. That was probably part of the issue.
Yeah, he was going off muscle memory. He was letting his body remember. He was training while working.
Yeah, because he came in during Survivor Series and did that tag team match against CM Punk. Then he faced CM Punk and took the title from him, and then Cena faced him at WrestleMania. So that was a lot of matches in a short period of time.
But your body starts to remember. So here's the problem, though. He is too lean at 50 almost. At almost like 40. What is he, like 40?
He's more vascular now. And that's kind of part of the problem, too. He's more vascular.
Yeah. Alexa, how old is Dwayne Johnson?
I think he's 55.
Dwayne Johnson, also known as The Rock, is 50 years old.
Would
you like to hear where Dwayne Johnson was born?
No, he is 50 years old. His body may look like $1 million. He can't take that abuse because, again, he's roided up. He has no cushion for taking bumps. And if you thought he ripped a muscle before.
Yeah. So that's the thing, too. I mean, they may not. And honestly, a Cody story is very compelling, too, especially if they're going to pull out that rabbit in the head of Stone Cold facing John Cena or something like that, where you do a once-in-a-lifetime match. Because, that was the rumor back in November that Stone Cold was doing something physical again.
Because I thought it was supposed to be Cena and Theory, because they never gave it to us at SummerSlam.
That match, too. But I think it would be interesting. I mean, if Stone Cold's going to do it, who you put him in the ring with?
Yeah, you put him in the ring. You put the GOAT versus you put the arguable GOATs of their generations together. Yeah.
Because the match that's pretty much penciled in for Mania for Lesnar is Gunther. That's the match right now, which is.
Wait, what happened to him and Lashley?
As of now, as of the last time I saw matches that you could pretty much pencil in, it was Lesnar and Gunther. Which would be a better match.
Hey, here's the thing. I'm here for it, but the problem is Brock ain't never been hit like that.
Nope. But you know what? He'll do it if you pay him.
Oh yeah, you pay.
Well, you know what? You pay him, he'll go in and do it.
Who that first
And
shot?
also interesting too, because we'll see when Randy Orton's getting healed up. So you don't know what he's doing, if anything, yet.
It's him and Riddle if he comes back.
Can we just like cut Riddle or whatever?
I agree.
I mean,
However, we know that's not happening. I agree wholeheartedly. We just know that that's not happening, though. That's the fucked up thing.
not yet. You know, I think they got to give him another shot or whatever.
They got to give him WrestleMania. Because again, you've been building up RK Bro, and then Orton leaves, he's hurt, and now Riddle's doing all his shit. You've been teasing the setup for when he comes back. I'm with you. I'm 100% with you. This motherfucker can go. But it's teasing that. So,
because I wonder if they're going to bring in, you know, all the Forbidden Door stuff. Royal Rumble's going to be interesting because there's a whole bunch of New Japan Loser Leaves Town matches happening and stuff. Did you watch any of the New Japan?
I was trying to watch some of it. I didn't watch it. I was whipping and running. It was late anyway.
AEW has no idea what to do with Kenny Omega.
Yeah, I saw they put him over on Okada. I was like, why? I mean, I'm over on Ospreay. I was like, why?
That match was so great, and his mannerisms are so different. He's so serious in New Japan. He's so much better by himself than he is with the Elite or whatever.
Yeah, like, he doesn't need that because he's built himself up being I don't need anybody.
And then now you have this in trios and AEW. It's like that dude should be always part of your six guys that challenge for the title. He just should. He's so good when you book him seriously. And and Ospreay's definitely going to be WWE if Triple H is in charge in like a year.
Yeah, he's like, bro, listen, I know what you've been doing. Listen, because Triple H probably is like, hey, bro, listen, I've wanted you. I've been warning you. However, someone didn't. So,
but it does look like Switchblade Jay White's doing a Loser Leaves Town match. That's like in a week.
Yeah, but I can't see Jay White going to WWE.
Maybe though in a Royal Rumble thing, because I do think you get a New Japan person in both.
Oh, you can for sure get a yes. We got Mickie James as the Impact Women's Champion. You're getting a New Japan person.
I would love if it was Okada just to see what that would look like, but
I would like to see what Tony Khan would do, how that would react if he heard that the Rainmaker was in the Royal Rumble.
He'll be fine. He'll deal with it. You know, if it's a one-off, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Yes, he'll be pissed about it, but that wouldn't stop him from trying to sign him for a long-term contract afterwards.
Oh, yeah, he would sign him just for the fact of saying he signed him.
Yeah.
Just so he could keep him from officially becoming a full-time WWE talent.
Yeah.
Like, I can see that. That is...
So, in another weird universe that's going strangely, what's going on with DC?
I was just waiting you to ask me that.
What are they doing?
I don't know.
Ezra Miller thing?
Ezra Miller. Do you remember like 2 years ago, the whole Donald Trump P tapes in Russia? Remember that?
Yeah.
Ezra Miller has to have Polaroids of somebody getting pissed on by an 8-year-old damn near.
Multiple regimes. This is like the third regime.
Ezra Miller has something. That is the only way you can exclude. That's the only conclusion to come with.
So I'm fine if you want to do a total reboot. Do the total reboot, but of everybody you're gonna keep, you're gonna get rid of Gal, you're gonna get rid of Cavill, and you're gonna keep Ezra as the fixture. And didn't we start this whole thing by saying this is all gonna be one shared universe? Wasn't that the whole thing of James Gunn movies, TV, video games?
Well,
And
he
now
said
we
that.
have a bunch of Elseworlds.
No, but he said that, but he knew because he said that, which is true for the majority of it. But they can't touch. They let Warner Brothers have Joker.
Yeah,
That's
that's
Warner.
fine.
It's not DC. It's Warner Brothers.
And
That's
same thing
why
with Matt
that's
Reeves.
huh.
Same thing with Matt Reeves is.
And but see, Reeves. Here's the thing with Reeves. Reeves gets one more movie in the series and it's done.
Yeah. He's
So-
like Christopher Nolan. He wants to make the movies he wants to make, and then that's it.
Yeah, so Reeves just gets the one more Batman, and then because it's not even that he's just getting the Batman sequel and the Penguin series. So you really can't even count that too. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not a long planned out thing with Reeves, nor is it a long planned out thing with Joker. So for the most part, when it comes to DC with Gunn and Safran, this literally has to be a DeLuca call. This cannot be anything. Knowing James Gunn.
Yeah.
This is not his call.
Well, again, though, we're not used to seeing James Gunn in an executive role where he's got to like spearhead a bunch of these projects. He's at his best when he can zero in on the movie he wants to make. It's like the Superman. He should have just said he's writing and directing it. Like, why even mess with saying that you're working on the script? Just say you're going to write and direct the Superman movie. Like,
everybody has said, look, this is the problem. You just said it.
Yeah.
James Gunn is not used to being an executive.
Producers are the best type of person to run these roles. That's why they're in these roles.
That's why Safran is here.
Directors need to be personally attached to the projects they are working on. Otherwise,
that's why you have Safran. That's why you have Safran. You got that.
He'd be the only one that is in this role. And then he has other creatives that you talk to. It's like the Russos talking to Feige. You have Russo talking to Feige. You have James Gunn, and then he filters it together and be like, okay, well, this is how I can take James Gunn's Guardians and make it work with the Russos, style and stuff like that. That's how it should be. It should be Safran going, okay, so James Gunn, this is your Superman movie. Okay, we'll let you spearhead that, and here's how it can tie into these other things.
Because he only gets one.
Yeah, well, he's only going to have like one chance to make a movie because by the time that movie is ready to go, it'll probably be 2024 by the time they really start rolling camera.
Shit, not even that. I wouldn't even give it 20.
So,
because he still got to do Peacemaker 2, season 2.
Yeah,
because that's still a thing.
In 2026, so he'll basically have like a year left.
Yeah, he'll have a year left out.
So it's basically like, I don't even know if he's going to make it to the first movie as this DC head guy. I think it'll be like, we thought this was a good idea, but let's just have James make his movie and let's see where that goes.
But again, I understand
I don't
why.
love the Superman idea. You're going to have a Superman in his early years and you're not going to do an origin. Now, some characters you don't need, like Spider-Man, you don't really need
but
it.
Same thing with Batman. We're getting year 2 Batman, so technically,
you don't need it with him. But Superman, how he's raised and how humanity impacts him, that's an important facet into his character. Because otherwise, then he's just Captain America, and that gets a little boring pretty fast.
Ooh,
because you run the risk of this feeling like it's Superman Returns. You know what I mean? Because that's kind of what it was. It wasn't an old Superman. He was just coming back from hoping New Krypton or whatever, and then he was back.
Yeah.
And so that's the big worry there. With the Superman, like, how are you going to make it work? Like, you're telling me an origin. So how is the dynamic with Lex going to be? Then there was the weird rumor that got kicked up that Michael Rosenbaum was going to be in it because of his connection with James Gunn. I'm like,
it's also like, yo, sit the fuck. But here's the thing. I think Rosenbaum will be involved, but I don't think everybody thinks Rosenbaum will be his Lex Luthor. Like, no,
that'd be so stupid because it's not that Superman. The whole thing is the dynamic between that Lex and Tom Welling Superman. Like that was it. That was the relationship.
That was it.
But that's an important thing. Like if you're going to have Lex in there, like I want to see the foundation of that relationship. Like that dynamic. And so if it's year 2, unless Lex isn't there yet, which wouldn't really make sense because Lex is usually already a pretty powerful dude in most stories.
Right. He's behind the scenes already doing things.
Yeah.
I just
So,
don't. I don't get. Again, the plan. I think this is the biggest. This is what I was going to say earlier. James Gunn's biggest issue is he's been so used to telling us everything, right? As a director.
Yeah.
But bro, you're an exec. You are not an exec. You are the exec now.
right.
Like, shut the fuck up.
That's the thing I want, because all it's going to take is someone saying something stupid to him, like talking about his wife or any of those things, and then you're going to get the James Gunn that was making, the pedophilia jokes, unrestrained James Gunn, and you don't want that either. Like, the great thing about Feige, Kathleen Kennedy, and these other executives, you can't. Pete Safran's not on social. You can't hit him up. At least on Twitter. You can't hit him. If he wants to ignore you, he will ignore you. Same thing with Feige. If Feige doesn't want to see it, he doesn't have to.
Kevin Feige is on Twitter and everything else under the most dummy of accounts.
Yes. But he's not a public persona, so he's harder to hit.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
James Gunn, you can hit him with everything, and he will probably answer you back, which is the bigger issue.
And because when he answers you back, he is relentless too. He doesn't pull back.
No, and you kind of need to. You need to be able to be like, okay, I could take this punch. That's the thing. They needed to be a little bit clear about some of the stuff. Because, we're in January now. They had the meeting in November.
But that's the thing. So I'm glad you just brought that up, because here's my biggest thing. Why do I feel like we as fans in general, and the collective, why do we feel like we need to know anything?
Well, because he keeps talking about it, but not talking about it. That's the only reason. I don't need to know. But you keep talking about it, and then it kind of changes. But here's the thing. But here's the thing with that, and I hear what you're saying. So let's say stuff changes, right? So they announce something, whatever that is announced, however their timeline, whatever the plans are, et cetera, but it doesn't go the way that now he's announced it, and things change, because Marvel has shown us that we will announce a timeline and shit will change. Yeah.
But then if the changes with them, everybody will automatically go to, oh, look, DC is still in disarray.
Right. Well, that would be the case no matter what they do, until you get more than one movie. That's good. Because and even if it's a good movie, so say Shazam is really good in February when that hits, that means nothing, because they're doing whatever they want with the universe.
Right.
So you have all these, so that could be great, but it's just I don't know. It's just so awkward and weird feeling, because the Superman thing just doesn't really jive with me very well. Also, because I don't see a lot of actors under 35 that are going to be good Superman. And I don't know if you can do an unknown.
But I think that, did anybody think Henry Cavill was going to be a good Superman at first? And I think that's the thing we keep forgetting. A lot of people do that because again, when it comes to Batman, when it comes to any superhero, whoever, we always say, well, I don't think there's such and such. I don't think this person or that person. Yeah, and then you get performed. I'm sorry.
Remember, it underperformed though. I love Man of Steel, but it definitely underperformed what their expectations were.
That's true. But nonetheless, that's very true. But people loved Cavill as Superman nonetheless.
Yes.
Right. So let's take that to the Joker. When Heath Ledger was playing the Joker in The Dark Knight, everybody's first thing was the dude from Brokeback Mountain. Or if you go back even further, when Michael Keaton became Batman, everybody was like, wait, the comedian dude? Yeah. So there's always going to be this,
right?
This person, that person, when somebody's announced, no matter who it is. It's not until they really show us that I think we can really give them any real review on anything.
I think it is. They're just at a weird place, because there's so much you have to do to get this Superman to work right. It's almost like I don't know if I'd even start with Superman. I really don't think that's the way to start.
It's not.
You need to start with your most human characters first.
Let me tell you, this is him. This is if him announcing Superman I don't think number one, I don't think he starts with Superman, but I think him announcing Superman was him caving the pressure from Pete. Remember how you just said we need to know something? I think that was the pressure because everybody kept being like
first, because that's the only script they have right now. That's the script they have is like a Superman script that he's doing.
Doesn't matter. Yeah. But it doesn't matter. I'm just saying it doesn't, regardless of how, but that goes back to the not saying anything. You see what I'm saying? Not saying anything. He could have sat there and was like, there are other characters, of course, that they can do. But because of this whole backlash and all this thing with not even Gal Gadot, with Henry Cavill, he had to say something about Superman.
Yeah, he did. But then he did that weird thing where he said, like, we really look forward to working with Ben Affleck on a DC project. I'm like, what DC project is he going to work on other than Batman?
Anyone. Ben Affleck is a director.
I know.
Forget about that.
His
Ben Affleck, the director,
is very tailored to a Batman film.
Say what now?
His style, he doesn't have that much action in his stuff. It's usually hand to hand. It's usually quick stuff. It's not a lot of special effects, although he did say he learned a lot by working with Zack Snyder's stuff. But I mean, when I found, I was like, well, what's he gonna do? Because Batman's like the thing that he would do. He's perfectly suited for that.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I don't think it's Batman. I think it's, again, I think you got to remember. And
man, that'd be hilarious.
What?
That'd be hilarious if he was directing James Gunn's Superman. That'd be really funny.
Wouldn't surprise me though.
Yeah, I don't think James Gunn would relinquish that control. I just don't see that.
I think he's already said he's not going to direct it. He just said he's writing it.
Yeah, but the only movie he's ever written that he hasn't directed himself was the Night of the Living Dead remake that Zack Snyder directed when he was a screenwriter for hire at the time. Like, otherwise, everything else he's written and directed. There's not a project that he doesn't write and direct.
I think this is one he understands he can't. I think this is one he gets it.
I think that'd be cool if he could do that. Because
again, it's like I hear everything you're saying. I think the fact is you got to just look. How did we get the Russos were the directors from, what was it, Community or some shit like that? A comedy. You got to remember all these directors. James Gunn came from doing Trauma and then doing Super and all that other crazy shit. So the directors are always going to be somebody that where they come from you be like, this don't sound right. Fruitvale Station and Creed got us Ryan Coogler.
Yep.
So when you hear about these different things to the director, you can be surprised. Argo is an Academy Award winning film. Now, granted, a lot of the movies that these other directors are not award winning, but they are highly touted. Argo is both.
Well, if you're going to tell me Ben Affleck was also going to help write the script for that film, that would also get me really excited about that.
But most directors don't write the scripts, though.
Did you know who the co-screenwriter of Argo was? The guy that wrote Batman v Superman.
Goyer?
No. It was the other guy. He also wrote Rise of Skywalker and did a bunch of stuff after Argo. That was not.
Oh.
It was that other guy. He also helped with the Justice League film. He was the screenwriter back on that, and those did not turn out well because supposedly Ben Affleck brought him in to do some stuff with Zach as part of being a part of that.
It just varies. It just varies. Again, it all depends on, like I said, the way Marvel picked directors. It made me realize the director we think might be best for something isn't, because there's something else somebody sees, right? So
it was also Feige figuring that out. Like Feige figured out these directors and had time, and also he made mistakes with certain films.
Absolutely.
Like, hey, this isn't going to work. Versus we haven't seen that with DC.
Well, again, the first phase one is all Ike Perlmutter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Again, that's how you get Kenneth Branagh directing Thor. You know what I'm saying? You get a Shakespearean play,
yeah,
with superheroes. That's how you get that. And then you get somebody like Kevin Feige's like, but also Kevin Feige gave us Shane Black directing Iron Man 3.
I still like the scenes, but
listen, I got to get ready to get up out of here because I got 2 shows tonight, man. I love talking this stuff with you, and I'm glad we talked on the day when shit dropped, really. Go ahead and tell people how they can find you and everything you got going on. So we'll drop all these roughly next week with everything together.
Yeah. So you can follow me at Chris_Intersect on every social media platform. I'm the managing editor of the intersectionmedia.com. So writing everything, movies, TV. I have 23 movies I'm previewing in the next day or so for 2023. So that'll be my.
This man's crazy, y'all. Listen, I don't blame him. Shit, let him go ahead and do what he do. If you look, I love somebody. I could 20. Fuck that. Look, we talked about some of them on our new podcast. I was like, it's a lot of shit coming out. Those were just the blockbuster movies coming out this year, and I was like, that's too fucking much.
The first half of the year is crazy.
It's ridiculous. But this is finally. I think we're officially in the COVID. We're officially caught up with COVID now after the first half of the year.
Yeah. Well, also they're getting more antsy too. They're getting antsy to get to the point that it's in January and stuff now. Like you have the LeBron James comedy coming out next week.
Yeah, see, didn't you know that was a thing? But y'all know what to find me. Y'all know I'm at Mr. J Watson everywhere. Follow me, all that good shit, y'all. Check out all the podcasts. I will holler at y'all later. Till then, take care. We're out. Bye.